Hi. I've always wanted to make like a huge ball gown or something like that. And since the Duke of Edinburgh came up, I decided that's exactly what I'm not gonna do. I don't have the expertise. However, my grandma said that she'd help me make an evening dress, which is close enough. So the beginning of this video was filmed before the coronavirus lockdown, so don't yell at me for going outside. Let's do it.
So first we went to Spotlight and we got this fabric, or this fabric if you're fancy, and we got this pattern as well as all of this other stuff. Then we laid the pattern on the fabric and we cut it out, and here is the time lapse of that. We also realised in the midst of this that we bought a metre extra of fabric to use, but it came in handy later when we cut out straps for the dress. Alright, so we started by sewing the interfacing to the back pieces, repeating until all of them were done. Then I sewed all the back pieces together, here and here. So here's me doing that. So here's one of two of the back pieces done. And we repeated the entire process for the front bodice pieces. Then I sewed all the bodice pieces together, apart from the very back, because that's where the zip goes. For the lining, we basically just did the same thing as the front, but without the interfacing. And we also ironed all the seams open. And if you're pickling your dog, make sure to pet him before they get bored and run away. Here's the completed front of the bodice, but without the lining yet. To make the straps, we laid a long ruler onto a big piece of fabric diagonally and traced around it to make long straps for the dress. I forgot to film it, but we folded over the piece in half and then sewed along it to make a long tube and then turned it through like this. Now that we have the bodice, the lining and the straps, we're going to pin it and sew it together so it looks like this. For the first fitting of the bodice, we decided that the side seams were too tight and they were constricting the bust and my waist, so we fixed it. The skirt was comprised of 4 long pieces, each of which had 2 darts in it, and we had a lining and a front piece to sew together. The skirt also has a slit in the side, so we had to take account for that as well. And here's us ironing out the seams and darts. Then we put the skirt and the bodice together. At this point we had the skirt and the lining and the bodice and the straps, but we didn't have the zip or the hem done yet. We didn't want the dress to be floor length, so we measured and cut off a bit of it. And now, the irrefutable sounds of a pug sleeping. Hi, me again. So, I forgot to film this bit, but with the hem for the dress, we basically turned the skirt inside out on itself and sewed the lining and front piece together, which is called bagging out. After we sewed along the line, we turned it back into itself so it was right way out. Then we ironed it all out. This is what the hem looked like after we finished sewing it, except for that little bit, because that's where I hand sewed it with a needle and thread, because that's where we turned it inside out on itself.
The zipper for this dress took so long. Firstly, we didn't have a zipper foot, which is a thing on the sewing machine that lets you get closer to the zip. So we bought one online, but when it came in the mail, it didn't fit my grandma's machine. So we sent the company an email about it, and they told us to send the old one back to get one that would fit. We mailed the zipper foot back, and they said they would get the other foot. After almost a month, the new zipper finally came, and it fit. Hallelujah. Now to actually sew it.